Rahim Khalili has this report from Gaza City.
In Gaza City, the cycle of forced displacement has become a way of life.
winding us up at 10 past the hour. So for now, welcome to Africa, and what a privilege it is to say that. It's the 2025 UCI Road World Championships on this amazing continent for the first time in history. We're in Rwanda, the spectacular Kigali, a place where there has been settlements dating back to 8,000 BC. So, about time then, 2025, for us to explore it. And what a treat you have in store, full of history and of course culture as well. We are playing with one of the most amazing places on the planet. They call it the Land of 1,000 Hills for very good reason, and we're going to be playing with a couple of them today, one on 2 occasions. It's the elite time trial. We'll be starting off with the women's discipline, 31.2 kilometers the course today, and afterwards we'll have a cup of tea. Why not? The plantations brought here by the Germans in the late 1800s, and now very much part of indeed the culture of this magnificent place. Women's individual time trial about to get us off and underway, and as with the men's time trial a little bit later on, the first rider off will be the champion of Rwanda. We have Zamarine Niere, who will be indeed opening the course for us. There is a 460 meters of elevation gain today, and they're compressed into 2 mountains. We can now the Nyanza, that's on 2 occasions.
Monsieur David Laptien, Président de l'Union Cycliste Internationale, Excellencies Ambassadors, distinguished guests who are here, the people of Rwanda, the people of Kigali, good morning. Naramutse. Muraho. It is my honor to welcome all of you on behalf of Government of Rwanda to this 2025 UCI World Road Championship happening for the first time in Africa here in Kigali. This is going to be a special week where we are going to have the best riders in the world that are going to be riding across our country, Kigali, in the hills and valleys, where they're going to meet the challenge that goes up to 5,400 meters of elevation, the first they've ever met. This is going to be a course that promises to be both beautiful and challenging. So I'm really honored to say welcome to the 110 nations that have gathered here, around 996 riders that are in this city, and the visitors that have come to join us in this historic moment. Let me tell you something special again about this ride. It is the first time we are going to have the women under 23 road race joining the World Championship. I don't think it's a coincidence that it's happening in Kigali, in Rwanda. This has been a country where, under the leadership of a statesman, His Excellency, the President Paul Kagame, women empowerment and promotion has been part of his exemplary leadership. I mean, who is standing here? This is a woman, and this is the product of our leadership. Let's crowd out for him. I want also to take a moment to thank you, Monsieur Laptien, for really meeting your commitments to bring the World Championship in Africa. We thank you for your leadership. We thank you, UCI team, Rwandan Federation of Cyclism, and all of you cyclist enthusiasts for this historical moment. I want also to thank everybody, organizing team, and every man and woman who has been part of this. It is just a beginning, and we are sure that your commitment to this will continue. A special thanks to our sponsors and partners, without whom this would not have been possible. Let's clap for them. This has been an effort of collaboration, of commitment and dedication of so many players, and we are very, very grateful for that. I want to give a special thank to all of you fans. You're the ones who are going to make this special, as we will be cheering for the riders across the city, showing them the hospitality of Rwanda, the love of sports, and the commitment we have to continuing this. For Rwanda, hosting this World Championship is not only an event, it's a commitment to the future. It's a commitment to the next generations that are going to be part of this sport movement. We believe in sport as a driving force for unity, for commitment, and for socio-economic development. So we are here celebrating our statement and the commitment to the future. I want once again to thank everybody and really extend a warm welcome to all the riders. It's going to be a celebration of sport, riding new heights in this Rwanda, and this is how we do it. Kigali, show your way. Kigali, welcome to the 2025 UCI Road World Championship. Thank you very much.
Adding to the sense of occasion, and as you said there, with the Tour of Rwanda, the crowds and the support roadside for that are absolutely huge, and this is of course anticipated to be even bigger than that, so we're going to see such crowd support, and it means so much to this part of the world, doesn't it? But yeah, it will be Zaverine Nirere who will go off first, and I just can only imagine the moments and whether or not she's going to be able to fully absorb that. But as you said there, of course, she's the national champion for Rwanda in the individual time trial. She took third in the road race as well. So it'll be really interesting to see her take to the start today. And as I say, it means so much around this race as well. It transcends the race, I think, the impact this will have.
It does. She got about 3 minutes to go at nervous times, and you can see it as well. She's had more hugs than perhaps a sumo wrestler. I mean, this is a huge thing, and just listen to this amazing crescendo to get us.
It's giving me goosebumps. It's already, Carlton, honestly.
Wow, what a responsibility falling on the shoulders of Zamarine Nirere. Primarily competes in Africa, won her nation's Eros Cycling Cup, won a stage and finished overall in the migration gravel race, so she'll be okay with the rough stuff towards the end of her run. Got herself 2 medals in the national championships, won the overall title in the Bibakawis Muga build Widow Oik Tour in Namibia, and so it is for her to start off this historic week of racing, let's not forget, with the women's elite individual time trial, the race of truth against the clock. And the truth is, we are just so happy and privileged to be here in your good company wherever you happen to be watching us. Time then for her to get in the zone and then get out of the BK Stadium into the fresh air and indeed start this run. Oh, magnificent. I do love, I've got to say, the Rwandan national flag. It has the sun rising from the east as part of its design. Kind of a nation reborn, I think you might say, and it very much feels that way. There's a real youth and vigour about this country, and you're going to see that when they scream her off the line, when the clock indeed counts her in. 30-second mark. Big smile. That's great. Carrying that burden of responsibility. There will be a roar when she leaves this start line and begins her run. 31.2 kilometres to be dealt with as quickly and as efficiently as she possibly can. The honour of starting us off here falls to Nirere. Absolutely fabulous. She emerges into the lights in front of the hordes that will line our route today. And she takes on what is a historic moment, but also quite a technical introduction to what is a long run of 31.2 kilometres. Now, because of the climbing, we shall wait to see our predictions as far as the length of each of these individual runs. But by the time they finish, they will know that they have been fully tested. Taking gingerly, of course, at first. Last thing you want to see is unstuck on some of those technical corners. But there's some rises and falls to this course today, some of which are extraordinarily significant. They'll be going off at 3-minute margin. I think the first is 2.5-minute margins, I beg your pardon, for this run. And here we are, 2 intermediate splits for the women's. The markers will be after 10.6 kilometres at 19, and then for the full 26. So we'll keep tabs. She needs to settle herself in, kind of put behind her the stadium she's just left, and then start to invoke that thing that time trialists get into, known as the zone.
Absolutely. I absolutely loved the fact that she was allowing herself to enjoy that moment. Quite evidently, she had a smile, didn't she, on that start ramp? And it's
Yeah.
Very happy because it's my home. It's a big story for my country, also for me. Yeah, I'm very excited. It's so fun.
What is going to happen here during the week? It's going to be crazy. A lot of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Everyone wants to see the Bogi, the world champion. Yeah.
I don't know who handed out the whistles. Hopefully they don't swallow it because the excitement levels here are very, very high. We have 46 riders, 44 riders, I beg your pardon, from 36 nations competing here. Time for Qatar to start her run. This is Kholoud Al-Kuwari off the ramp and underway. Absolutely spectacular. I love the fact that the World Championships respects all nations, all champions. There will be some great divergence in terms of the times we achieve at the end. But representing your nation, celebrating cycling, is what the UCI World Championships are all about.
It really is. And as you say, we are going to see huge differences in times throughout today. But I think something that's really prominent is the difference that you see in tech. And actually, we saw Xaverine Nerere go off with a brilliant setup there. But we'll, in the early riders, of course, see quite a big variation in whether riders have the team support, have the funding for the team to have the full TT setup. Of course, we are going to see a lot of these early riders on their road bike setup, and that's what we'd expect to see. But as you say, the opportunity for these different nations, for riders to go up against the world's best, to gain that experience, to fill the World Championships is what it's all about. So it'll be interesting to see the different technology that we see on the line.
And Yeri, still with 29 kilometres of her run to be taken. Wide open highways at the moment. As you can see, the road surfaces here are absolutely impeccable. They've been looking forward to and preparing for these Road World Championships for such a long time. And this nation, after its troubles, of course, with the genocide in 1994, has rebuilt itself with the care and attention, I think, of the world, really. And the goodwill that has poured onto this nation is absolutely huge. And it just shows you how regeneration and indeed looking towards the future can actually is what we're dealing with here. Rwanda, there is so much for you to enjoy. Today, of course, we're going to be playing with the roads, but we'll have some particular shots and we'll be taking you around Rwanda as well to enjoy. Ethiopia, also noted as a great cycling country as well. We've had terrific riders come out of Ethiopia. And this is Watango about to get underway. So lots of support has come from all the African nations to make sure that they give their riders an amazing send-off.
Yeah, there really has. And you look at the qualification process for the UCI World Championships, and there are opportunities, as we nodded to before, for riders to have representation, that they are able to have a spot for their nation to line up. And of course, we've known that this is going to be the first time for a little while now that we would see the championships take part in Africa. And so there's been so many of these nations able to prepare to field this. And we've said, time and time again already how special this is. But we've also had the brilliant work of Team Africa Rising. Since 2007, they have been working on the development originally in Rwanda, known as Team Rwanda Cycling, but it's further expanded in that time to really focus on under-23 junior development so that these young riders are ready to field at this level.
Absolutely. And as you look at Watango from Ethiopia, she is just 23 years of age.
On est arrivé il y a 3 jours avec l'équipe du chronomix. Et voilà, on a passé
been here 3 days. Very much looking forward to the mixed TT later on. It's super lovely here. It's everyone's been so kind. We've been out having a ride, we're exploring, been sweating a lot as well, to be honest. I think it's going to be super demanding, really very hard, and with the altitude and the humidity as well. I believe that it's going to be one of the toughest championship runs of my career. That was Cédric Kebayon, who earned a place at this third World Championships after a strong season where she finished 8th overall in the Tour de France, you might remember. She's also French national champion. Earlier in the season, she won the national title for the second time in her career. And beating her compatriot, Juliette Labousse.
I'm really excited to see Cédric Kebayon in action today, because I think what we have learned, if nothing else, over the last couple of seasons, is not how well she can climb, but how much she keeps the pressure on descents as well. So keep an eye on Cédric.
It's Monica Kiplagat from Kenya. The drumming send-off is getting bigger and bigger as everyone just gets the flavour.
The anticipation for today has been so high, and it's been a long time coming because, of course, the preparation that goes in, not months ahead, but years ahead, in securing the World Championships coming, and then all the preparations that go into that. So you can really sense it's come to fruition. It's finally here, and oh, it's exciting times.
Really, really is. I mean, when you look down the roster of nations that are here, this is, if nothing else, at least in the early stages, a massive celebration of cycling itself. I mean, look at the fans on the side of the road, and how much respect as well they are giving the riders. This is an unusual thing, of course, for the entire African continent to have such an amazing event come and grace this sport in a heartland, I've got to say, of cycling. Then it's a privilege for us to witness, and of course for the fans to be able to cheer on in this one of the most populous nations, I think, in all of Africa.
And as you said, we're going to start getting a gauge with our intermediate time checks, aren't we, of who's going to go into the hot seat, who hot seat for quite some time today, because of course sometimes we do see an early rider sit in that position for quite some time, and it was interesting, wasn't it, looking down the start order at who's perhaps going off when. So the reigning champion, of course, Grace Brown, is not building this race. It was a really interesting one, wasn't it, that she won so big in so many ways and then said, right, I'm retiring, I'm happy now, I'm off. And many people might or might not have seen that she announced this morning that she is pregnant, so huge congratulations to Grace Brown. And it was full post because she said, you know, I'm really excited to see a new world champion crowned today, somebody else take this jersey, and it's not going to fit me for much longer, and I'm not going to be able to stay in the time trial position for much longer because I'm having a baby. So huge congratulations to Grace Brown.
Grace, if you're watching, it's been a pleasure to watch you. Best of luck. It's a wonderful time. Here is the Bokpo Congo from Botswana, off and underway. Yes, she was in the Bebekeri Charity Cycling Challenge, the activation ride. So presumably starting a whole new raft of yet more races, where she got herself a top 10. And as a youngster, this is going to be huge for her. Next up will be Natalia Frolova, one of the individual neutral athletes that will be getting us off and underway. The first benchmark, I think, and possibly somebody that the riders out there, will be Harmony Ahowisu from Benin. One of, I think, not amongst the favourites, but two-time Benin champion, extraordinarily, of all the African riders, I think she's possibly going to be one of the very best. And she lines up with other very strong time trialists. Just completed the Maryland Cycling Classic in Baltimore, so starting to indeed go